All right, guys. Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock. Last session on our masterclass with the weapons, threats, and so on. Today, we are going through some training specifics when the weapon is not yet out, but it's coming out. At this position, she said that she didn't have a gun, so she just punched me to the face. And now she still doesn't have the gun, I still have the gun. But now she's making sure that the gun stays in the holster. Now, there is a lot of, now if I give you the gun, you see I'm not passing the gun to anybody, I'm just putting it down. When we are training, let's say that she's taking hold of the gun, and then we're training to go here, and then we sort of like stop here to here, but now remembering from last week, of course, now I'm still in the way that she's just going to defend. Doing this, getting away. Okay? So now I have to think about that if I start to go in like this, I will need to make my defense. And you see where the gun is pointing now. It's directly to my leg. So if I'm going in, whether I'm grabbing the hand like this or hand like this, I grab it the fastest way I can, and then I have to get to the side. So now, of course, I am punching, but I'm just making sure that the gun doesn't come out. It's going to stay where it is until the person is down, and then you can take the disarm. All right? So now, with this holster, there is nothing stopping me from getting the gun out. But the holster that I have, let's try. Just try to pull it out. It doesn't come, you have to work a little bit harder. And now, that is because this holster has the safety here, so it doesn't come off as easy. But of course, now with the training weapon, it comes off a little bit easier than with the gun that it was made for to actually hold it. But this is also something that if you find that you are trying to get the weapon out and it doesn't come off, there is a safety catch. So just, let it be there. So that's sort of like in another constraint, another obstacle there on the way of you trying to get to the gun. I am here and you are trying to get the gun away from me, so that's the safety feature when you're trying to drag the gun and if it doesn't come off that easily. All right? Anyway, now as Hedy is, I am trying to get the gun and now Hedy is pointing there. I try to make a defense. Okay? And now as she punches me, I'm going here. I still try to make a defense. I'm just pushing her away. I have now my thumb on her shoulder here. So she needs to continue the motion of getting to the side, just like the basic motion here, so she can continue punching. And the weapon is staying here. I cannot pull it out. So one of the key concepts when somebody starts going here is to hold the gun and punch. Something like this happens. Get hold of the wrist and punch and keep on punching until that person is disabled. And then you find out, oh, they were just going for their cell phone. But maybe the context of the situation, I will shoot you, is telling you something that it's not going to come like, oh no, I was just going to shoot a picture of you, in a sense. This is one of the questions that we sometimes get at. Well, what if you miscalculate? Well, if I play stupid games, I win a stupid prize of getting my head shown off. That's what it is. The same thing, if she's on that side, let's play it like this. And I start to do this. Now you have a hard time of getting past me. So try to get to the side of me. Once you start moving, not necessarily that side, but thinking that what can you do to get to here? And now we are in the very, very basic attack in Krav Maga. You attack, you move to the side and punch. You are doing the exactly same motion, except that now you need your front hand to go to grab the gun. So in the simplest way, because when we go into some of the holds and stuff that we are sometimes training, is that we miss, so we sort of like don't understand what needs to be done. We are so focused in a technique that we sort of like go past what was meant to be done, and that was to disable the person with the weapon, not trying to get some sort of hold or so. All right, so dropping the gun for you to pick it up. So we have techniques like this. So now I'm in this angle. It's going to be very hard for me to move all the way to here because she's punching. So I need to grab the gun from this angle. So now as I see the weapon, I am getting inside and I'm coming here. Now, with our size differences, this is pretty easy for me to do. But when we turn the table to the other side, okay, what's going to be my next move? That's the first question. Okay? Now, as I think of disabling her, where I'm putting my finger now, there's the kidney. So, because her head is down, I cannot reach to the backside of the computer. I can still press the gun down. She won't get the gun up now. That's impossible for her to do. But now, as I want to get the computer side, the head up, I will first have to initiate pain here in order to deliver the pain over here. And then it's going to be like this, 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 as long as it needs for her to go down. Now you see a lot of techniques, type of wrestling type of things. I can, of course, take hold from here and make her sit down from this position. All I need to do is this. But when we turn the table, now you drop the gun and I get it up. It's not going to be that easy. So when you are on that side and you get inside, think of doing that and now pressing on my hand. Now it's going to be very hard for you to even reach. Now you have already got the gun, my gun hand away. Now you can pull with this hand. So you end up here. Now I'm not reaching the gun anymore. But now thinking that this is a wrestling situation, what my defense would be going in there. So now she needs to move behind me and then really do something to my stance. So hit me with the legs or something like this to get me down to the ground. And now, as we are going down to the ground, are you ready? Because I'm going down. She needs to be able to keep the control. And now, it's a very simple task for her because I cannot block. She has both of my hands down. So now as she starts punching my head, until she sees that there is no daylight in my eyes anymore, then she can turn me around and get the weapon. So, it is a size matter also. How big is the opponent? How big am I? What is my reach? And so on. But the basic principle of once you see my hand going in here, You end up here, now there's going to be a fight, so you have to move, and now you have to start hitting and punching. And the problem is that most of the technique and technical training ends here. It ends up here. And then we don't see the whole picture of what is going to happen there afterwards. And of course, because it is quite strenuous work when we go down and up and down and up and down and up all the time, then we get tired of it. But hey, a practical thing. Do it 5 times, then take a rest. Then do it again, take a rest. So it doesn't have to be like you are making a cross-training, circles over there and doing, okay, next spot, next spot, next spot. Because we're still training the skill. But now, let's do the whole thing. So let's play around. I'm just going to do a little bit of resisting. We're not going to make this a game of wrestling. But I am giving her resistance in a sense that my hand goes here, you hit me, and now I'm going down. Because what I described was that once she hit me to the back of the head, I was dropping down here. She tried to still hold me up because she wanted to hit me more, but then just letting the person go down. One way of doing this drill. Now let's play another one. Now I'm not going down with the first blow to the head, but then I might be going to that side or some other place where you are hitting me. So again, hand go. So now she got the gun. And now just be ready to use it. Yes. So I was resisting, I was doing this. So she moved into saying, okay, I am stuck. I cannot get the person down. So what do? I go and grab for the gun myself. Because I was being busy trying to stay in the fight. I was not trying to too much fight back because she was punching me all the time. Then, so the first one we did was when she got here, she hit me and I started going down, okay? The next one was that I was not going to be unconscious, I was going here, but I am doing this. So now, when she got hold of my hand, and then she was able to grab the gun. So we just did by my action, we changed her solution. And then, of course, we can go into a little bit of more resisting. I am doing this. I'm not letting you get in here. And now you end up, let's turn. Now we end up in a situation like this. Now, instead of thinking, okay, now she needs to hold the gun. But what she has here, if she punches with her shoulder forward, what's going to happen is that my hand is going to come here. And now, move the leg here. And now, lean towards me. Towards me, you are leaning forward. Back, yes. Now you are shoulder locking me. Now, when my hand, now if you start lifting my hand and press down your back towards my back. Now you are shoulder locking me. And now if you continue slamming towards me, you are going to get me face down to the ground. Now, all of these techniques, what we are doing, are part of sort of like arrest and restraint, thinking that she was here, and once she gets the hand here, now it's pressing down on the shoulder here. If the hand is like this, not gonna work, but when the hand goes over here, no problem. Now, we can play these different angles and scenarios, like million and one. But the key point is that once she sees me going in here, I am going to stop her. So she needs to get away from that, hit me, do something. I keep on resisting. And she keeps on attacking until she has the gun or she has me under control. Now she can already have the gun. I cannot get away from here. Instead of training and using the training like going in like this, always add that once I start to move in, you make the defense of pushing your hand out there. So once I get to here, now I need to figure out what to do. Okay, we're here. The gun is there. Now I have both of my hands here. What I'm gonna do? Get her down, change the angle of my hand. And as you see, you cannot train a technique. You have to train the principle. How do I either keep the gun in the holster or be in the position that I can grab the gun out of the holster myself? So those are the key things to take away from this one. That was all coming from the sort of like outside or from the opposite side angle where the gun was. So I was getting in here thinking that, okay, I'm gonna do this. Now as I have the gun in that hand, I am punching, and now I can take the gun away myself. Now, of course, in the first phase where we need to sort of like figure out what we're doing, we need to understand what we're doing, understanding the concept. I can be standing like this, my hand with the weapon here, and she needs to pass my hand and get the hand on the weapon or the weapon hand. Now I cannot do very much from here. She's in a very good position. But now remember, this is not the end of the technique. Never stop here. But continue. Think that, okay, how can you move to a better position of getting the gun, hitting me, and now you can already reach the gun. In normal training, where we are in our training clothes in that gym and so on, we don't have holsters, we don't have belts, we don't have normal clothes where the gun is coming out from, and that's a problem. So I suggest that every time you do weapons training with the guns like this, now you could put it in your pocket instead of a holster, because we are being too elitists around here. Somebody wearing a holster for the gun, that's not very, street credibility is very, very low. But now, as you start to pull something out of the pocket, and I see this happening, and I'm still doing the same thing of grabbing, it doesn't change the thing. Or if you have it under your shirt and you put it like, yes, and now, very good, but now of course it's here. So now you have to get the gun out the fastest you can. And again, I am here using my head correctly at once. And then just getting her down, keep hold of the gun, get the gun away. Again, the basic principles of weapons here. Now, let's try it other way around. So I have it here. I'm just going to take the gun away. Okay, go, 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 go. All right, you got hold of the gun. So now, on this side, when the gun is, her hand is going to the gun, and what she was doing there previously was to give the kick to the groin and then move in. Very nice. You just have to have the correct balance of doing that. Not thinking that we are doing a kick and then moving, but we are doing a kick and moving at the same time. A very basic skill, especially in the things that you are going in with bang, both hands, assault rifle, very military type of Krav Maga attacking techniques. Let's not go there yet. When you are on the weapon side, just stay off the weapon, stay off the target, and then whether your hand is like this or your hand is like this, understanding that her hand position now, she is so that it's very hard for her to pull upwards. It's quite easy for her to swing backwards, but that we already have the answer to. Because then, what she is doing from this position, and if I am punching and she turns, I already have the follow-up to go in there. And now, even though we are showing now slowly the things over here, always remember that once you go into training, now as you have figured out that, okay, she went for the gun, I was here, I grabbed, I pushed, and now she turns, I'm going here. So we end up in a situation like this. Now, where are we ending? We are ending it down here. And getting the gun away. So now, your turn. Start from angle from here. So you came inside, you punched me, I turned, I am here, and now you had to, now it's hard for you to take me down from there. So thinking of now, if you put your weight down, so like you sit down yourself, now you got my weight down. Now, if I am not going that way, you can just start swinging that way. And now as you see, we are constantly training on the holistic idea of working it out until you have the weapon or the person is so disabled that they cannot continue anymore. So my hand goes to the weapon, yes, or if you start with your hands up, okay, good, continue, continue, hit, yes. This is the paper, and this is exactly what happens. We start to look for, where's the weapon, I want to get it. No, you have to disable the person first. Then you go for the weapon. Most of the weapons training that you see online is like this. But the thing is that it should be something like either this or this. Hitting. And basic principle. Get hold of the weapon, start keeping disabling, like deflecting and disabling. Of course, the drills that we are doing from this position, keep your hands up, and now you need to get hold of the gun, and I am wrestling it, so you need to be able to alter your motion. These are all balance exercises, just the basic stuff we did in the first episode. Okay? So, again, from here, and you do what you need to do. And I am resisting, I am just doing this with the weapon. That's just like training a dog to keep its bite, in a sense. You don't want a defense or security dog to let go when they have a grab here and they feel the first resistance and then they let go. You don't want to do that. So what you do with the dog, once they take the bite, you start doing this and they keep their teeth fixed on the target until they are resting the target down. So this is very basic. So again, if you are on that side, I'm just looking here. And now I start to do this again. And again, I start doing resistance. These are all basic resistance skills where we aim to create control of the body and balance and everything. So from there, I usually move on to this phase where the gun is coming out or my hand is going to the pocket and we are doing this. And then again, when she punches, I fly off. She needs to have hold of the weapon. And then everything in between. Because the situation might go once you are here. Now, I come to her, I push her, I take the gun and I point it to her. And now she can start reacting at any point of time, okay? But again, the first phase of the skill learning here is that she understands that I am not shooting her. I am threatening her, but I am making it a very intimidating way of pushing and then shoving the gun here. And she goes into very basics of Krav Maga, which is I start pushing her and she deflects and then disables me, eventually getting to the disarm of the weapon. The same thing can be applied from here. I start pushing her, I do this. And again, she does something. And now, I am trying, trust me, I am trying to get the gun away, but that little aggressive fist in my face, it disturbs me a bit. So that's a key problem. Even though she has superb control in her punches, in the next phase you will see blood coming out of my mouth because I already said this, but you know, hey, what wouldn't you do for the audience? But still, the sheer speed in her punches is making me flinch every time because once the punch comes here, I am doing this. Because if I'm not, I will get hit. And then, well, that's why some people wear teeth guard to do this exercise. A lot of things, but still, we are dealing with just the 3 D's what we've been discussing whole November. The first D was to deflect. So here the deflection goes there. And then was the disable of this, and eventually it goes to the disarming of the person. So really, don't focus. Okay, let's do one more time, and then you take the gun. So, don't focus on this part until before the person is down, because just put it in the holster or wherever. Because we see so much of this. People are going for the gun over here. Then they are so focused that they let the person pull the gun and do this. What would happen in reality? If I go to here and I have not punched her yet, she will of course just turn and hit me. This is what's going to happen. Okay, if I was very, very fast, like Hollywood fast, in doing this, I got the gun up, what would she do? a simple hand release, because there was not a single thing that I had done to her to think otherwise. So that's why the disarming is the last D. And as I always say, if you want to handcuff a person, a disabled person, whether they are unconscious or not, but unconscious person is the easiest one to put handcuffs on. So it's the same thing. The unconscious person is the easiest one to take the gun away from. And we are now in self-defense situation. Person has a weapon. Person has a weapon, and they are willing to use it because they are showing off. They are taking it away from the holster and they are trying to shoot you. So I will take my chances in court any day should I end up in a situation like this. But the thing is that, because these are the things that people worry about. Okay, what if I go to court? Hey, what if you go to the cemetery? Which one you choose? Those are the things that you really don't need to worry about. We are now playing a very, very extreme situation. But should you ever end up in such a situation, it is very nice to have this knowledge and very nice to have this skill if you have trained it. And train it like this, not like the ones we were doing here. She was taking the gun away and then I was going for the disarm and getting beat, because now I'm definitely very close to going to the cemetery. But thinking of going to go here, and once the person is doing this and punching until they're down, and then nice gun, I'm just gonna take it away. So that's the idea. There is a very, very good, I think I've mentioned this before, but I suggest that every one of you go and check Tim Larkin's YouTube channel. There's a lot of good stuff there, and there's plenty of stuff there, but especially the one where he's talking about this gun retention system, how we are trained in law enforcement, security, and martial arts. We are so focused on, getting to the equipment that we are misled by that concept, and we don't understand the importance of actually disabling the person first and then going to the weapon. It's in the Krav Maga Coach Facebook feed also. Well, of course, those are very hard to find. But at Tim Larkin's YouTube, you will find this video. And it's like 12-15 minutes, but very much worth watching, because it gives you the concept that if you are training with against any sort of weapons, it's a must-see. And I'm not just saying this because we speak very much the same language, well, in this one, in quite much everything, in a sense, when it goes to the self-defense and so on. But it's very important, very illustrated, because there is a case study on a situation where the police officer was going for the knife hand and eventually got shot, even though the assailant's hand, he said that he could already feel the joints breaking, but it didn't stop the person from shooting him like 4 or 5 times. Fortunately, the police officer survived and so on. But look at the video, it's very important. So basically, there are 2 approaches or the thing. But so if you cannot be outside of the line of fire on this side, you move outside of the line of fire here. And what we did here was that if I got the gun and I started turning, she ends up here, and then she just beats the living smith out of me until I'm down. Okay? Let me have the gun still at this instance. I know it's very hard for you, but let's try. And then another one was where she ended up on the weapon side of things, and then it's just very basic. Move out of the line of fire, keep on punching, and that was the security dog metaphor there, that once you get hold of the gun, you keep it like a Rottweiler to a bone. The only way that gun is gonna come out of there or your hand is going to be released, that you have that gun, or my hand is separated in two parts and you hold the part where the gun is. So that's the idea. Everything in between, the first phase of the weapons training, we started from here, and now it was just take hold of the weapon, just take hold of the weapon, and then keep hold of the weapon and keep on punching my hand, whatever I do. This was the security dog metaphor. So that's training of the balance and so on. Because with Andre now, do the same thing and then just, you have the gun. So now you have the gun. So then the next phase of doing it, once you see that the person is doing this, the key problems come in holding the body. So I'm holding it here, but as you see from my posture, that I cannot follow. And because I have no way to move. So what I'm learning here, by her being the active attacker, is to use my body and move. Keep hold of the weapon and doing this. Or keep hold of the wrist and doing that. It's the same, it really doesn't matter. Because I can also hold from here and just keep on doing that. Because if I put my hand straight, as you see in very many of the videos, you see people doing this. That's what's going to happen. Because in all of those, you really have to get, like this close. And with these height differences, her hand being in the ankle, cannot do it. So having to be here. So that's the first part of understanding, okay, what I need to do. And now as she puts the gun in the holster, and I see that she's trying to get the gun out. Now I have to balance, now I have to move, now I have to move, now I have to punch, 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 and then it's my weapon again. So those are the things about the holstering, gun coming out type of thing. One thing we missed from last week was what to do when a person has a longer weapon in a sling. So now if we have a weapon thread in front of us, and we were doing this and this and this, now of course I cannot get the gun away from her. But this doesn't stop me from hitting her, and then of course choking her. But the thing is that with all of these slings and stuff, just disable the person and then take your knife and cut the sling off and have the weapon. But you cannot get the gun away from me. Well, you're not going to be around there to witness that because you're unconscious. That's what's going to happen. Of course, if we do it the other way around, so you get to hit me with the weapon too, otherwise it would not be fair, of course. Being fair is always a very important part. So I have the weapon here. So now the sling is pretty tight. I just made it a bit tighter. And now as she's going, let's do this. So you're going up, and then doing that. She still can hit me because she is within the reach of the sling. Again, she cannot get the gun away from me until I am unconscious on the ground. But that's all right. As you see, this is quite easy to train in any training location because, well, everybody has the rubber bands and and weapons and stuff like that. So that's going to be easy to do. But that's just sort of like a sneak peek into the equation here. All right, guys, it's going to be 3 weeks until Christmas. So next week on Wednesday and now in December, we are going to be on Hedi's favorite subject, and that is the blades. Very much the same type of idea of what to train and what not to train when we are dealing with blades, and especially with weapons, with firearms. It's often, if you can pick, having a person with a firearm at close range or a person with a knife in a close range, I would pick the person with the firearm, because the blade is just so quick and then so hard to defend. And as everybody who understands anything about blades understands that, hey, we will get cut. That's probably it, but it's just a matter of how badly, if the person has enough time to actually swing the blade. But that's going to be our stepping December type of theme. So next week, 6 o'clock, same venue, same guys, and just different topics. All right, thank you, and be seeing you then.